dealt with claim and counterclaim. Clearly, however, something is happening with the weather, as it was warmer in Glasgow yesterday than it was in London. And very recently, I had the opportunity to view a DVD on the Minamata disaster in the 1950s, which demonstrated in graphic terms the great harm pollution, anything in the food chain could do, and they are currently still paying the price for that. From a legal perspective, in order to operate, businesses must understand their environmental impacts and what's required to ensure we stay within compliance with legislation. Financially, stakeholders are required to be reimbursed for the monetary input they put into the business. Anything that can jeopardise this will be tolerated. Inefficiencies cost. Greening the supply chain brings win-win benefits. Hopefully I'm going to demonstrate that. From the environmental policy that we have committed the business to reduce pollution, be resource efficient, and continually improve our environmental performance. And thankfully, we continue to do that. Using this commitment to environmental policy and some gentle prodding by governmental bodies and our regulator, which was CEPA, the business embarked upon a supply chain development programme, which saw us look at 1,200 suppliers and supplied the sites in the UK. And we whittled these down to 7 key suppliers. We called the Magnificent Seven, and they were about to be enlightened to the joys of waste minimisation. The end game being, by making them more efficient, we'd become more efficient, and the cost would be harnessed for both, all in the name of greening the supply chain. Those businesses that supplied us with the main manufacturing components were invited along to a waste minimisation partnership presentation. It was a captive audience. An audience that hoped for the best, but were no doubt fearing the worst, but there was no need. How strange must it be for a customer to tell a supplier, we're going to help you make efficiency gains through waste minimisation, and we'd like to see the books while we're doing it. Now, seeing the books wasn't strictly true, but an independent third party with only environmental interests at heart would look at the books. In essence, he was a breath of fresh air for these businesses and ours, and he made it blatantly aware, in no uncertain terms, how much cash was in free fall from their business and indeed ours. And in the 12-month period when we kicked off the process, £2.6 million of savings were identified. Simple things. Monitoring water bills and process mapping where water was used identified a simple leak, and £11,000 leak per annum. A review of compressed air requirements, including identifying and fixing on the way through, and introduction of more than variable speed drive compressors resulted in a saving in electricity costs of £20,000 in that year. But more importantly, in addition to that, it was discovered by looking at the graphs of the metering that compressed air requirement dipped dramatically around 3 o'clock in the morning and night shift every morning, and only increased at 7 o'clock the same morning. The reason? By 3 o'clock the night shift completed its planned output and headed off to the canteens and restrooms for a well-earned rest. Once that was established, some cards on the table negotiation was had, and this led to more hours of reasonable production. So again, a win-win for all. Segregation of waste at source and the securing of recyclable rebates, as intimated earlier, led to landfill avoidance and indeed a saving of 10 people per annum. The checking of utility bills and ensuring that meters were calibrated and read on a regular basis resulted in discrepancies of £23,000 being retrieved from the power companies. How pleased would they be? Label suppliers, and we've all got the manufacturing business. EnviroWise is a DVD, I think it was even a video sort of first time round, on waste minimisation. And on it there's a caravan builder with a problem. Once he's cut out the plywood shape, he's left with off-cut waste, and it's quite a considerable amount. Our label supplier had a similar problem, and utilising the guidance provided in the DVD, he was advised to speak with the paper supplier and ask if he would alter the size and shape of the roll. And to his amazement, the supplier changed it from the very next order. And that resulted in £12,000 less in raw material cost and 47 tonnes less of waste to recycle. Not all paper, I grant you. Similarly, we were asked if the thickness of the label paper could be reduced, and once the OK had been given from the marketeers, the quality control, and the engineers tasked with getting the labels onto the bottles, it was given the nod, and a further £11,000 was saved. With the advent of just-in-time, key parameters agreed and implemented, no longer did this supplier have to create and hold £85,000 worth of stock just in case we needed it, and more often than not we would never get paid for it. But it also freed up time from this exercise to allow for £500,000 more capacity that it can make labels for someone else, and that was secured by their business. Maintenance and upgrade of heating system and utility renegotiation added another full £17,000 onto the bottom line. Our business requires 240 million glass bottles. It needs to come from somewhere. This somewhere was already doing something about their electricity. Their energy requirements were huge. When they looked at variable speed drives, motors, pumps, drives, renegotiation of tariffs, they secured £165,000 of savings. Compressed air leakage and more efficient plant added £14,000. More efficient gas burners and tariff renegotiation a further £19,000. Moving from use once cardboard layer pads between the bottles to use 17 times plastic layer pads took many tonnes of cardboard recycled out of the waste stream. Granted, some preparation costs were wholly justified to ensure the quality of our product was maintained. In a similar vein, pallet management, whereby damaged pallets repaired and locations tracked to ensure timely returns, reduced the number of new pallets required to be purchased. A close inspection of the operations waste streams and some waste minimisation initiatives resulted in 240 tonnes less waste going to the landfill. We need to keep the good stuff in the bottle, so we have to purchase some caps. Not every business could or can make huge inroads into greening the supply chain, however. Looking at waste streams may only provide improved waste reporting, but at least it is a starting point. Moving from the tried and tested could jeopardise some businesses. No one wants that. However, if they don't try new things, we will never know. Trials of water-based paint remove VOCs from the atmosphere, but also had a reduction in raw materials cost, a reduction in the health and safety risks associated with moving and handling these chemicals, and a reduction in trade effluent charges for waste thrown to drain. The improved waste reporting allowed for 50 tonnes less of waste to landfill. The final supply chain development partner was a transport provider. What could they do to assist? Fuel duty made diesel like gold dust if they drop as a prisoner, and they were already doing something about it. To comply with legislation, they had purchased Euro 3, Euro 4, and they got the Euro 6 engines. However, they had taken the further step of employing instructors to ensure instruction and training was given to the drivers so they were driving efficiently and effectively. Vehicles and their trailers required to be kept clean to promote an image, and some 35,000 cubic metres of water in and then out as effluent, paying twice for the privilege, was required. Grey water technology for rinsing and water miser equipment for washing reduced this burden somewhat. Silt traps prevent 120 tonnes of solids going to the wastewater treatment plant, thus reducing the trade effluent cost to sewer. A move to water-based paint for deliveries took 5 tonnes of VOCs out of the atmosphere. Our company didn't do this on their own. They couldn't. They didn't have the in-house expertise, but they were willing to get involved as there were certain benefits to be had. In addition, the